today we talk to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, we na Timothy Kabba. We go talk about Salone and international relations them. We for sake of that I want to welcome on the program this morning. Good morning and welcome to the program, Mr. Kabba.
Good morning, Mr. Kamara, and good morning, Mefamulem.
Okay, we tell we listeners and viewers as yourself get them from we headline today. You did the program for talk about Salone relationship with other countries them around the world, as plenty don't happen this BNTM we did now the studio for make clearance. But we go give you or start with the general updates from the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation in terms of give strength to the party business between Salone and other countries.
Thank you very much, Musa. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation is mandated by Section 10C of Salone Constitution, where say the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is responsible for promote the interest and territorial integrity, the interest and the image of our country outside of the country, for engage with other partners bilaterally and also through multilateral institutions. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs get embassies all over in most places in the world, where those embassies they do the same function for seek and promote the interest of Salone and its citizens and also as part of our interaction we get other countries that also we get diplomatic missions in Freetown, Sierra Leone, where they sign and a purpose for strengthening the bilateral relations where they exist between we and then countries. And the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation is out there. So right now we basically in many areas of interaction in multilateral space, for example in the UN, AU, ECOWAS, and many other spaces. And today in the world that is very challenged with many old and endemic challenges and as well as novel ones, new ones, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, under the instruction of the Chief Diplomat and the President of the Republic, they move a country into this space for the way to gain our own opportunities as a country, and for also able shop out the opportunities we self get now, where we would attract investment for the benefit of we people them. So as you know, significantly this past 2 years, under the leadership of President Julius Maada Bio, Sierra Leone participate in some high-level continental and global security infrastructure them. We're responsible for example, the African Union Peace and Security Council. We're responsible for maintenance of peace and security in the African continent, and also the UN Security Council. We're responsible for global peace and security.
When you start for talk about the Salone relationship with other countries, then you mentioned embassies, the role of the embassies. What now the status of Salone embassies them outside Salone, especially the side them where Salone embassy they exist, and we say on a plan for open embassies?
Well, we get roughly about 26 embassies, roughly 27 embassies right around the world. And some of those embassies, they represent some other jurisdiction, which I mean, where you get an embassy in a locality where they can able accredit some of the countries that within they near that particular station. They are represented by the station embassy within a given capital. And I think our embassies are doing well. You see, say, for the past 3 years, we've opened about 4 new embassies, where His Excellency the President don't assign ambassadors to 2 who will not fully open it. Those are Paris, France, and also Dublin in Ireland. But we don't open, of course, Qatar, which was formally opened this year by me through the directives of the Chief Diplomat and His Excellency the President, Dr. Julius Maada Bio, and as well as one we will open Algiers, the capital of Algerian Democratic Republic, and also we don't see how we mission, for example, in New York. They participate very excellently in the UN, especially in the UN Security Council. And everywhere we mission in there, then they are under the obligation not only for protect the interests of a country, but promote the affairs of the state, whether it is in the area of investment, for bringing investment to the country. So far so good. We're working with our embassies. We're expanding our diplomatic footprint. Equally, countries in the respond because of their abiding trust when they get in with democratic credentials for coming and also establish their own embassies there for look for mutual opportunities.
All right, Mr. Minister, you just give updates about the status of embassies across the world. But how often you can visit the embassy?
Well, we are constantly live in a rather digital world, and we constantly stay in touch with the embassies. And of course, I've visited all the embassies of Sierra Leone that we have, and they're all faring on well. And of course, it's now a very tight global economic time. So, I mean, even with embassies in the feel the pinch in terms of our delivery, in terms of resources to these embassies for me to able to execute them, functions them very, very well.
You are aware of the embassy now, Washington, in terms of the status, the building?
Well, we are not talking about buildings here.
Just for cross-check.
Yes, of course, I know the health and status of the embassies all over the world.
No,
and that
in
includes
that
Washington.
particular one day?
Yes, I'm very aware.
With not the status of her?
What do you mean? It's a working status. People are going to work every day.
Yeah, because...
What are you referring to?
Yeah, because we get information, say, even right now, we get some people every day in New York where they attend the CSW. You understand, say, one of the embassies in I think now Washington not in good condition.
How could somebody be attending CSW in New York? They comment about embassy status now, Washington, D.C. So, I mean, that could be a sense of mischief. The embassy is functioning. Of course, we get a lot of...
you mean they're in a good condition?
Well, I wouldn't say otherwise. Yes, it is in a working condition. Look, even this building will get there are challenges. And in Washington as well, I am not aware of the physical challenge we talk about, but functionally, administratively, it's in a well position. We have an ambassador that has been appointed by President, His Excellency Dr. Julius Madabio, who hasn't gone yet to the station because we still await for what they call agremo. Agremo is when the president don't appoint a would-be ambassador with the request now the receiving state for letting give what they call agremo in diplomatic terms. It means no objection. Haven't done probity test on the proposed candidate. So we're waiting for the United States government through the State Department for respond favorably for the acceptance of the ambassador for they begin function very well. But I don't know what you're referring to, the status of the embassy.
Earlier when you start for talk, you mentioned the new embassies them way Salone don't get overseas, and one of them the one at Dublin, Ireland, and we see the president be appointed the first and chief justice, and the embassy still not come on it or will not start for operate it. What's in the latest one?
Well, when you open an embassy in a new jurisdiction, it normally take good period of time. You remember you don't have a building there, and you have to look for the logistics for open the embassy in terms of Ministry of Finance providing the resources for make them go and look for a property, the chancery and the ambassador in resident and the other diplomatic staff there where they join the ambassador in resident. That takes a very good number of time, and the appointment we also don't request on a similar note for an agremo in favor of the former Chief Justice, where now the designated ambassador to Ireland, but the logistics and the preparation is ongoing, and we're very sure the scoping team will be going very soon to Dublin for ensure say we look for property and put the logistics in place before the ambassador and his staff could go.
Let's look at relationship between Salone and other countries. What's our relationship with counterpart them?
Very well. Sierra Leone has excellent bilateral relations with the countries where we establish and get diplomatic relations with. And I tell you what, you can see the way embassies that also get that trust in the democratic credentials in a country that is also very much progressive. Then they come in for tap into opportunities in our country for strengthening with bilateral relations. This is a testament to the fact that we have fine relations with the particular countries that we deal with.
Because the reason why I ask, we all know recently the issues around wherein then they allege that we country don't turn hub in terms of issue we get for do with drug.
Well, I don't know if that is coming from a bilateral partner. If a bilateral partner, we own partners in, where would they deal with? If now anyone get a report there, I would like to see that report. But none of the bilateral partners nor refer to Salon as a drug depot. It is far from that. And let's don't. When you live in a glass house, there's no throw stone. This is our country. We're ready for promote the image of a country and make it attractive for investment for the benefit of the people.
Okay. We see this being the president being withdraw the Salon ambassador. We be the Guinea, we now ambassador Alemami Bangura, and being later appoints ambassador for the Yumkela, that position there. But before the appointment, they wanna be done to go Guinea and engage with the Guinea authorities them with relations to or with regards the status of the ambassador where then be alleged say then catch cocaine na Salon embassy Mutka. What are some of the negotiations them we or what are some of the outcomes them in the negotiations them wanna be to get with Guinea counterpart, and what then tell una with regards to this allegation?
Well, it's very simple in the sense explanation wise. Of course, a crime of a very grave crime was committed by way of one of the diplomatic vehicles in a utility vehicle on the 31st of January 2024. The Ghanaian authorities then may impound that vehicle where been get one of the drivers, local drivers assigned to the embassy with contraband substance, where they're open in Conakry, the authorities in the presence of the then Salon ambassador, Ambassador Almami Bangura, and then the Ghanaian authorities been therefore informed Salon about this incident, and then when they inform Salon about this incident, we therefore respond and also recall the ambassador to a capital for investigate why would a property of the government of Sierra Leone belonging and under the custody, the use of where embassy in Conakry was found having that contraband. And so of course, you know, there was a little resistance in terms of letting the ambassador come, because Guinea has its own laws, but under international law, especially the convention, one of the Vienna Convention of 1962, when they established diplomatic relations between countries, both bilaterally and also through multilateral means. We therefore not get a hold on the ambassador, because the crime that was committed, a strict liability offense, which means those who were caught in the act were responsible for it. B, because the substance was not found in the ambassador's DM1, one of the diplomatic vehicle 1, and the ambassador was not in the vehicle. So we therefore withdraw the ambassador for coming and for explaining to government why that happened.
You say una plan for do or una being withdraw the ambassador for do an investigation. Una don't do this investigation now? My
role as Minister of Foreign Affairs, I've done what falls under my own purview, that is for call the ambassador. That power is delegated onto the Minister of Foreign Affairs by His Excellency the President. And so we call the ambassador and I ask him, why would a contraband be found in the vehicle of the government of Sierra Leone where it belonged to the embassy? And so the rest of it, no, he said he had no idea of the vehicle having a contraband, but that had been transferred to the police, charged with the responsibility of investigating, arresting, and the consequential actions after investigation. So it was handed down to the police for investigation.
Former ambassador to Guinea, now this Salon?
Up to the time I brought him, and up to the time he'd been there on the preliminary investigation with the police, I knew he was here. But as you know, my job is quite ambulatory, and it's not my responsibility for check on a daily basis on where the ambassador is. The fact of the matter is, the ambassador has been relieved of his duty, they don't pull him from the job, and there's a new ambassador designated to the Republic of Conakry, when a Salon new ambassador.
Okay, now, what about the driver? The one women they drive the motor car, then catch them, is still the Guinea on himself?
Look, the driver was not a diplomatic staff. It was a local staff. We're covered by the laws of Guinea, and I believe say the moment we don't hold them, now the act as it is a strict liability offense, he could be a good day under police custody because now a grave crime.
I mean, Guinea.
Absolutely not in Sierra Leone. Now a grave crime under international law and the laws of Sierra Leone.
When this issue come up, plenty gets concerned. One of the concerns then are that in the first place, Guinea authorities are not being get right for such saloon diplomatic mutka. What's our position on that?
Well, the Vienna Convention, Section 22, is very clear on the rules of engagement when there is a breach like that. And so the rules of engagement, the Ghanaian authorities follow on to the letter. In that, it is required by the law that if you find something like that, in the presence of the ambassador, in the presence of the head of mission, then open the vehicle in the presence of the then ambassador, and then take stock inventory of what in the claims they then find inside the utility vehicle under law that is acceptable.
When ambassador they left country, he can go take leave of the president.
Yes.
In this situation, Ambassador Almami be able to take leave of the Guinea president or Guinea authorities for no say he don't left the country and new ambassador they step in.
By the moment where they appoint a new ambassador, it automatically implies that old ambassador don't lose in position. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and Guineans abroad is Excellency Maurice Ndakwete, the Foreign Minister of Guinea, very aware, say, Minister Almami Bangura is no longer the ambassador of Sierra Leone to Guinea-Conakry, and that there is a new ambassador accredited to Guinea, and that ambassador, in fact, in paperwork, they go on right now.
All right, before we take break, quickly, what does this mean if a country like Sierra Leone will get some of the allegations there?
Listen, there's a very good thing about this country that we promote, rather than looking at these few spots where they tend to a country. Like you, a journalist, like me, a minister responsible for foreign affairs, with responsibility, even though these challenges are there, now for promote the image of a country and make the country an attractive country for investment, for the betterment of we people them. Of course, the good things we Salon they do all over the world, it far outweigh those very few unfortunate incidents where don't occur of recent time. Inside
the program, we continue for a look at more issues. We go inside the president, Julius Maada Bio, say he work now with the Ghana president for Gitrank to party business between Salon and Ghana. President Bio talk this inside one waka where the president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, can do na Salon for engage the presidents for talk about the party business and how them for push and go before. For more on this, we join you know Kabba.
Salon and Ghana for long term now don they share diplomatic relationship. Outside them two countries, don they work on different things them where go benefits them. December 7 last year, the president na Ghana, John Mahama, be win the election. Outside in don be president for the second term now na Ghana. As part of in waka where in don do na other country them, make the president na Ghana, John Mahama, don't can do one day walking visit to President Julius Maada Bio, and then two presidents here being get this meeting at the Freetown International Airport Lunge. Who said them talk on different things them we get to do with development for the two countries them.
It has been my pleasure to host my brother and colleague, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana. President Mahama is not only a colleague head of state, but also a dear friend of mine. As you all know, this is President Mahama's very first visit to Sierra Leone since assuming office on the 7th of January 2025. Therefore, I want to take this opportunity to once again congratulate you, my dear brother, for the great victory in Ghana's election that was held on the 7th of December 2024.
You been there listen to the President Julius Maada Bio, who said he be first welcome the Ghanaian president and in delegation at Salon, and self been congratulate him for the election where he be win na Ghana. President Bio be carry on for talk about seeing them where gets for do with agriculture, education, tourism and other one them where in say then two countries they work on.
During our extensive meeting, we discussed a range of issues on the spirit of excellent fraternal relations existing between the Republic of Ghana and the Republic of Sierra Leone. We have reviewed regional and international matters of major interest, and on bilateral matters, we discussed the need to create further opportunities to scale up the bilateral agenda and discuss the possibilities for cooperation around commonly identified priorities in our respective national development agenda. This includes cooperation in trade and investment, agriculture, food and security, tourism, public health, education, fisheries, defense and security, and institutional collaboration.
President Julius Madabio talk about the need for give more strength to the general cooperation where the two countries then say be signed so.
To achieve all of these objectives, we agreed to revitalize the General Cooperation Agreement that was signed in 2018 between Ghana and Sierra Leone for the establishment of a permanent Joint Cooperation Commission, JCC. I have also proposed that the inaugural meeting of JCC be held in Ghana at a date to be agreed upon by our foreign ministers. On regional security, we discussed issues bordering on terrorism, violent extremism, conflicts in the Sahel, drug and human trafficking. We affirmed our commitment to cooperating and coordinating efforts to address these challenges confronting the regional and the consequences of peace, stability, and prosperity.
Where himself been the talk, the president na Ghana, John Mahama, before talk about the importance of Inwaka, where he can do na salon to President Julius Madabio.
Yeah, thank you very much, my brother, President Julius Madabio, for the warm hospitality we've enjoyed arrived here. Our purpose for this visit is a short working visit, but also in the spirit of African tradition to say thank you, my brother, President Madabio, for the honor he did me in graciously attending my investiture as president on the 7th of January 2025. And so, as we do in African tradition, I should have come the next morning to say thank you, but better late than never. I was busy putting the government into place, and today was the best opportunity. I will thank you for the kind hospitality.
President Mahama been carry on for talk about how the two countries them go work for CC, they implement the thing them where they inside the General Cooperation Agreement where they be signed so.
Indeed, we have discussed a broad range of issues, and one of the most important points we agreed on was to establish the Permanent Joint Commission for Cooperation as quickly as possible so that it becomes the institutional framework for us to build our cooperation on. There are many areas in which we can work together. And as he said, we discussed issues of agriculture and food security. We discussed issues of power and electricity and how we can work together to enhance the West African power pool. We discussed issues of education and exchange, and we believe that the Permanent Joint Commission for Cooperation is going to be the best avenue on which we can build this cooperation together.
Thing that we get for do with peace na the region. Now one way President Mahama say in concern boards.
On sub-regional issues, as an old face but a new face in ECOWAS again, we discussed issues to do with the issue of terrorism and the issue of the current alliance of Sahelian states and ECOWAS. And we compared notes because he had previously visited the three countries and I had just recently visited, so we compared notes, and we believe that it can form the basis for us to continue to cooperate as members of the same sub-region. He also briefed me on the effort that is being made to get a common African position on the issue of Security Council reform, and we are very much in support of the efforts that he has been making in that regard, and I pledge to him that we'll continue to work with him so that he can be the advocate for doing that.
President John Mahama be end up say he go make sure say he work with President Bio for say they're able for implement plenty party them where the two countries they don't agree to where this is say go benefit them people them. For Radio Democracy, you know, Kabba the reports.
We just hear a story we get for do with the waka with the Ghanaian president Kanduna Saloon. But recent times we see waka with the president, do na other country them. With na the instance for some of the work and the and waiting some of the benefits them.
Basically, the president and the chief diplomat of the country, and in the steer the ship, the direction we all follow in terms of we external engagement, that is with both partners that will get directly country to country, and also institutions and way through which many countries they meet and share common aspirations, common goals, and common values. So, for example, we already the news of President Mahama coming to Sierra Leone to visit President Bio, all a part of foreign relations, how for strengthening foreign relations. President Mahama in Kawan yesterday, principally for come meet President Bio and thank him for the good relations way they between Sierra Leone and Ghana, especially also for President Bio, we been go and support him in inauguration. And the two presidents then talk about how we forget a permanent what they call permanent joint cooperation commission, that now a framework, diplomatic and legal framework, where the two countries then forget established permanently, through which we're going to do economic exchanges, political and cultural exchanges. Salo in Ghana don't get a historic relationship, one that even dates before the independence of the two countries. And for example, yesterday the president of Ghana, Excellency John Dramani Mahama, being commended and thanked Sierra Leone for always support Ghana during the time for when they struggle for independence. Notable, a very illustrious Sierra Leonean son, ITA Wallace Johnson, and others when they joined Kwame Nkrumah during the Pan-African days for push for the independence of Ghana, we set the tone and the road for the immediate liberation of many of the African countries, including Sierra Leone in 1961 on the 27th of April. So the visit yesterday now for strengthening the bilateral relations with the between we, open new areas of interest, for example, such as agriculture. President Bio in main flagship program in agriculture for this couple of years. Also, Ghana has a good reputation. Ghana has good expertise in cocoa farming, for example, and that now one area where the two heads of state then say them for explore exchanges, so that Ghana will support Sierra Leone farming agenda, especially three crops, the cocoa, coffee, and the president being therefore say Ghana, of course, almost plants now all the land they wouldn't get, so then will help Sierra Leone for see how we will improve on we own cocoa subsector of the agriculture industry. So most of this work are then, especially now in these 5 years, now for promote Salon in interest in the areas of bringing investment into agriculture, investment into mining, investment into the economic sector, and for also provide jobs and opportunities for Sierra Leone.
We looking at the work we President Bio don't do now other countries them, and also the visit of the Ghana president we now John Dramani Mahama. I take you to another issue. We don't see a list the make rounds. We then say this is a proposed list from the United States on visa restriction on Salon. The Minister of Foreign Affairs are aware of these lists, or I don't see them at all?
I don't know the list where they refer to, but over the weekend, plenty people in on social media they show a list where they say now from New York Times, where say categorize Sierra Leone in a certain category with the potential for visa suspension. Well, we don't, as a government, when they deal with New York's time, when they deal with the State Department of the United States, because NINA, the counterpart of the Ministerial Foreign Affairs, will not see any such indication from the U.S. government. Neither it is on the website of the State Department says Sierra Leone is in the category as it as a presenter on the New York Times newspaper or website. However, yes, there's concern from the United States government on Sierra Leone in visa affairs, but it is not any gloomy. It is not like what is presented on that purported New York Times magazine. Yes, I mean, I've been speaking, and I always speak with the ambassador of the United States to Sierra Leone, and also with mission now Washington D.C. The concern over the years, and this is not just something we just pop up now, but I want to make the people of this country know, say, the United States of America, they conduct in consular services there without any change. Visas have been issued to deserving applicants that will prove, say them then deserve the visa when they apply for the U.S. Embassy is doing that as normal. Well, after that that particular purported newspaper classification will come out, it will meet up, say, the ambassador of the United States for me come visit me on Monday, for come present to me the director of the U.S. Peace Corps. So when they come to office, I seize the opportunity for ask the ambassador about the veracity of that particular list there. It's the ambassador said no, it's not a State Department, United States Department document, so we didn't lend credence to them. But however, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the embassy in Washington, they respond to quite a lot of queries where they come out from the State Department, especially, and this is not really government, especially some of we fellow citizens them, where they take these different categories of visa, then they go to the United States and then they overstay. They notice the rate of this overstaying of we compatriots them, where they go on, some they go on tourist visa, some they go on visiting their relative, then beside them, then they overstay, then they engage in economic activities in the United States, and then get records on this, and then feel, say, the opportunity within the give Sierra Leoneans and for go now the United States, we seem for the misuse and to a noticeable effect, and that is why that is brought to our attention. There also, we don't see recently where there's a sort of deportation of undocumented, citizens of other countries than the United States. When the new U.S. administration, they do everything within their powers for repatriate them folks here. Sierra Leone, them in contact with in January, that the ICE, one of the immigration office of the State Department, Department of Immigration and State Department, were responsible for take care of these affairs of illegal and undocumented citizens of other countries within the U.S. And the first query what them bring to we, well, not a query, it was a request for law provide emergency travel certificate to 12 Sierra Leoneans where they don't say they don't overstay, they don't for the United States, and through the embassy in Washington, and therefore give directives for me to interview them people, and therefore prove say they are Sierra Leoneans, and those people were repatriated to Sierra Leone.
Then presently
they were repatriated to Sierra Leone through with the effort of the IOM, the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Social Affairs.
Okay, now just for get things clear, the list we are in, we see we country are fake, right?
I cannot say fake, it's inaccurate.
All right. Now another concern we people get again, even you mentioned saying now some visa, you don't explain some of the issues that we are in. Some man they take visa overstay and the rest. This get anything for do with the elections?
Which elections we're talking about?
This we pass election. People they allege say these are some of the things that we make we get issue in terms of visa for letting give salon people.
No, sir. It has nothing to do with election. The queries are quite clear. We have a high, West Africa in general, in the United States, get a high rate of people where they go on visa, short visa, where they stay and involve in economic activities, and where they stay for settlement in the United States. West Africa are the highest, and Sierra Leone are one of the least countries where getting people here. But for we on visa, when they issue, the number is becoming alarming. That some of our compatriots then they go and overstay, and that is what we jointly work with the U.S. Embassy for ensure say then sort of the consular section of the United States do a proper due diligence before they issue visa to people where for their own benefit, go give bad name to the country.
So let me look at, you say the New York Times publication no reflects what's come up from the U.S. State Department, and you say when I don't engage with na counterparts them in the inquiries, whether this one from New York Times in any way true or na rumor, what in the consular department or the State's departments respond to this article from New York Times?
Well, the State Department, see, okay, this is where sometimes it can appear as if we daily conversation is very much inconsequential to the extent that a list where they pass around, we made it a topical issue for almost a week in this country. Rightly so, yes, the people will worry about then genuine visit where they want to visit America, how that could be affected if we get a suspension of the issuance of visa. But however, the State Department in America may not go not to New York Times, then the list with them pull the State Department they worry about. The State Department does not deal with the New York Times with respect to Sierra Leone. The State Department they deal with Mission and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And so I don't want to talk about whether or not the State Department, they even want New York Times, they deal with us directly. And when I spoke with the ambassador of the United States to the Republic of Sierra Leone for ask for the near veracity of that particular document, to say no, because that does not represent the United States State Department.
So they ask Salon people for discard this New York Times publication?
Well, it is inaccurate.
Okay. You say when you inquire with the Salon embassy na New York or Washington, you say one of the reasons them we they explain or the concerns they don't get now overstay of Salon people. But as you self mentioned, say now it don't be topical discussion over the years. We don't see plenty of opinions on them. Some say perhaps it get to do with the issue of Josh Lydaika. We recently they said in a Salon government say no, the Salon and other issues then we get for governance na in lead to some of them here. The State Department in any way include some of them concerns here to the Salon embassy in America.
The issue they talk about get for do with the Dutch government, and the Dutch government and the country of Netherlands is a member of the European Union. If there is a punitive action whatsoever, not from the United States, they will come out from the EU or from other EU
But
countries.
if there is a concern that drugs they pass through Salon,
the United States of America not express. I'm coming. The United States of America not express any interest in anybody where you don't call, for example, you said Josh. That is not the interest of the United States. Neither the European Union don't bring any punitive action to Salon. In fact, it should not even be Sierra Leone because you're speaking about an individual, not the government of Sierra Leone. So this has nothing to do with the United States consular or visa issue. So these are different things, and it's unfortunate that we even think say that is the reason why. In fact, there's no visa suspension, and that will not be a reason for the United States of America for suspend the issuance of visa then to the people of Sierra Leone through an embassy in Freetown.
So it's not the relationship between Salon and the Dutch government in relation to just an issue?
In relation to
the drug baron with the alleged denier.
Well, the Kingdom of Netherlands has a very beautiful and fruitful bilateral relations with the government of Sierra Leone. And of course, the matter you talk about first came on social media, and of course, for we the diplomat, then that's not the best of ways for engage a bilateral partner. However, after it came on social media, and it was all over Al Jazeera and all of these places, it was not referred to the government of Sierra Leone because this not journalistic presumption, not journalistic account giving, and diplomatically that's not the way we engage. However, when the issue came, the government of Sierra Leone, as a responsible government where they fight against transnational organized crime, I believe say the police of Sierra Leone will start for looking into the matter in collaboration with the Ministry of Justice until a request was made for extradition by the government of the Netherlands to the Republic of Sierra Leone. So, and this I must reiterate, again, no implication on the visa, neither it gets any implication adversely on the relationship between the Netherlands and Sierra Leone. During this period, for example, I get a call from my colleague, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, a certain Excellency Caspian, on other multilateral discussions like the UN Security Council and other bilateral engagement.
Right. Then the Netherlands government don't officially write to Salone government say they want this man.
The Netherlands government writes and asks, say, then get a certain person of interest with a right to the government of Sierra Leone. And government of Sierra Leone, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, receive that request, which was handed down to the Attorney General, where you get the responsibility with the police of this country.
Meaning you no reply to it.
We don't engage, and of course that now mostly a legal issue that is between the two ministers of foreign affairs of the two countries.
What's not the response?
As in,
what's not the response? Who will respond to them for the public?
Well, the Minister of Justice, they engage in colleague in Netherlands, and we have to understand this. There is when a request for extradition is made, it is guided by, especially to a country, it is guided by the Extradition Act of 1974, where be saying that the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, then they received the request, and he will now take that request and use the legal means for looking into the matter. And as I speak to you, the Minister of Justice and the Attorney General very much seized of the matter, and we're in full engagement with the Netherlands.
We get anybody we get that name they represent leading in this country?
I have no idea.
So now we start for look at messages. The first one I will take from Mark 10 and New England. I say the ban is part of the okay.
This one from authority, they say Mr. Timothy, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, plays a critical role in representing our nation globally. However, where does Sierra Leone stand in terms of partnerships with other nations, especially when drug-related issues are linked to the country?
This one from Vincent Momo. He say why international students from East Africa countries normally receive a 5-year F1 visa from the US embassies, while international students normally from Sierra Leone just receive normal visa.
This one say, Mr. Minister, can you please tell us where is the former ambassador to Guinea is now?
This one say, thanks very much, Mr. Timothy. You make my day.
This one say, Lolo Gasparini on Facebook says, Timothy Kabba, your kind of leadership style is rare to find, very thorough with your dealings and committed to serve. I'm highly motivated by your political exploits.
This one say, from Musa Alassane Kamara, say, good morning, Edudi. What's your position on the Sierra Leone and Israel, Hamas, Russia, Ukraine war?
This one say, good morning, Radio Democracy. What is the position of Sierra Leone? Okay. My colleague just read that one. This one from Musa Alassane, our Facebook page. They say, does Sierra Leone has anything to gain or lose from the Trump administration?
This one says, despite the car carrying diplomatic license plate and the driver posing an official diplomatic identity card, Guinea security forcefully alleging acting on the credible intelligence tip of forcefully open and search the vehicle. This move clearly defy and violated the UN Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, which grants immunity to official state vehicle for Mark 10 and New England.
Lebi Michael, our Facebook page, they say, in diplomacy, we don't normally countenance unverified information.
This one from Lulu Gaspirin, say, Timothy Kabba, your kind of leadership style is rare to find, very thoughtful of you, dealing and committed to serve the country. Bravo.
This one from Janice Alex, now Facebook page. They say, Mr. Minister, I would like to know how serious you are about promoting a positive image of Sierra Leone, given that our country has been involved either directly or indirectly in drug-related scandals. It seems to me that you might just be trying to sweep the issues under the rug.
This one say, waiting at the effect of some of them bad publication here we Sierra Leone get internationally.
Mark 10 and New England Ville say, Mr. Minister, the Saloon Embassy in Dakar, Senegal on Thursday, 6th March 2025 repatriated 47 Sierra Leoneans who were deported from Mauritania. These Sierra Leoneans were deported by the Mauritanian authorities to Senegal border. They eventually made their way to the Sierra Leone Embassy in Dakar, largely women and children. What was the main reason for their deportation? From Martin and New England Ville.
This one from Tunde Scott to say the government promised to clean the image of the country when they came into power, spent tens of millions of dollars rebranding the image of the country. Today we are far worse than where we were, from one international scandal to another.
Victor, following our Facebook page, they say, please, Mr. Minister, can you help us to know why the Ghanaian president just stopped at Lunge Airport? Is there any reason for us to know?
This one from Samu Conte say, till now, this government do not tell us if the drug baron is in Sierra Leone or not.
Okay, we continue for look at more messages that we una don send na we Facebook page and we 077-981-981 line. This one from Political Mufti. They say Timothy Kabba really knows diplomatic issues. He deliberates on them with ease and confidence. We wish you all the best.
The last one I go take for now, we say this one from Emmanuel is say, I hope say we the visa ban take effect, me own go don come out.
With that text message, yeah, you go respond to them.
Thank you, and I want to thank fellow compatriots and we send these messages, very pertinent messages. Make an attempt to respond to some of them. The person will say what are the effect or how serious we did for promote the image of Sierra Leone. We're very serious and dedicated. It's our constitutional mandate for promote the image of our country, and through the leadership of His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio, we have done a fantastic job. I'm very proud of the President and his leadership internationally. At a time like this, where the world is actually challenged in many ways, we don't see, the global order, don't they get interruption here and there, and we believe, say, it is time for us to start for build alliances for the survival of the country, with sub-region, and the world at large. And the seriousness of the president in sanitizing the image of the country, I make we sit on today at this very critical time. Sierra Leone, a small country with a very principled and reasoning voice, we sit under the UN Security Council. They promote global peace and security. In the African continent as well, Sierra Leone, they play a key role in the African Peace and Security Council for deal with security issues in West Africa. I want to say Salon, now we deal with the Congo DRC file, and Salon, the chair of the Sanctions Committee of the UN. Imagine when we've been get with conflict, Salon always been be a menu on the Security Council. Today, now with the wrong files, and they support the UN in program, the Congo DRC, for example, for bring peace. Now that place, the South Sudan, and Salon don't be very much vocal in terms of calling for an end to the conflict in Gaza, respect for international law and international humanitarian law, and also Salon don't always, vote against, vote in favor of every resolution we don't the UN General Assembly and the UN Security Council for respect of sovereignty, territorial integrity, and independence of sovereign state. That is, with the condemned countries where they aggress against another sovereign country. So the effort of Sierra Leone is recognized and it is appreciated. I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. And also, when I not say President Bio, I'm not the coordinator for the Committee of 10 Heads of State and Government on the reform of the UN Security Council. President Bio don't accentuate this debate right in the Security Council, calling for the reform of the UN Security Council, and we see how the world respond to that debate. It has become a topical issue, for make the council will be reformed, for reflect representation, geographical representation, and for address the historical injustice where Africa don't get by not being in the permanent category of the council. Somebody talk about, say, East African and Nigerian student, the F1 visa and Salon normal visa. And I think we appreciate the fact that the Nigerian Sierra Leonean student and visa wouldn't go to the United States and they stay and do their studies. I don't know the difference between them visa and they, and so that may be a comparison of personal experience. But thankfully, the U.S. Embassy they give visa to Sierra Leoneans deservingly for good study overseas. And somebody asked about the whereabouts of the former ambassador of Sierra Leone to Guinea. He was brought. Is a Sierra Leonean, and I don't need for know where the ambassador is, as long as those who are responsible for that investigation under the police, then they conduct them function. But it's my hunch that he's in his country, Sierra Leone. He's not in Guinea. He's not under any incarceration. He's a man at liberty on whatever is going on that is with the police. And somebody, okay, I've spoken about the Gaza in Ukraine. We position in Gaza is for humanitarian access, ceasefire, and peace talk, two-state solution as supported by the UN, and also whether what would they gain or loss under the presidency of President Donald Trump. President Donald Trump is the president of the United States of America, and the United States of America gets a fine bilateral relationship with Sierra Leone. For example, we get the MCC, the DFC. These are all resources committed as product of bilateral relation to Sierra Leone, and we get many areas of bilateral intervention for the benefit of the two countries. And somebody say if the Guineans then contravene the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations by whether such a vehicle, there's a common, you see, the doctrine of abuse of diplomatic privilege, they override those very privileges, and which means if the Guineans then find out, they may get information, say something of grave concern was in that vehicle, then make them conduct the search right in the presence of the ambassador as required by the Vienna Convention. So there was no contravention of the Vienna Convention.
We did round up this program now, time no day again, but what's in the status of Yenga, we Guinea man them don't can bill?
We are very concerned about Yenga. As I come on at this studio right now, I am going to I'm joining the Chief Minister and other related MDAs for the Yenga discussion. It is a very top issue on the agenda of government. We don't try diplomatically, and we still continue diplomatically at this difficult time. That's the best measure, and also we try for explore and exploit other legal means, such as going to ECOWAS. For example, AU, Salon don't accede to the Niamey Convention on the settlement of cross-border conflict, and also we get ICJ, International Court of Justice. Right. But now we try for initiate ways. I will make sure say Sierra Leonean territory is will be relieved by the people who don't occupy that particular territory.
The people already don't build it. Why not now they go for the issues here? Because we remember 2015 or so, they don't negotiate and go back. But they don't can build permanent structure. You are going to ECOWAS, it seems as if you are fighting a loose battle.
Why would you say that?
Because
I'm sorry.
Permanent structures are
Wait a minute. To say would they fight a losing battle?
It seems.
It's preposterous. Thank you. It seems. Here, would they take measures? Yes, there's an encampment. I've been there. Mr. Don't go there, don't say. But would they explore and exploit every means possible for ensure say we relieve that particular territory there?
Plenty thank you for joining inside the program this morning. In name na Timothy Kabba, in the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. As today I don't update the public about a lot of things them where they happen in the country. Plenty thank you for joining inside the program. We hope say from time to time we go to come.
Thank you, gentlemen, and thanks to the listeners. And it's been a fantastic moment to tonight for talk about international relations.